Hi, everybody. I'm really excited for today's session. It's going to be a little bit different for those of you who do know me. Really, more of where my passion is. And it's funny, the whole world is going in this direction. So, so it's not a coincidence. But just for, I mean, we're going to be talking a little bit today about something I've been quite deep working on, and my whole business is now shifted in this direction. I wanted to share some of those insights with you. We're going to talk about how you should be in an AI assisted business. How I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that I'm implementing, the thinking process behind it, and really, we're going to be we're going to be diving into some things around what you should be doing to really boost productivity and really just move into the way the world is. I honestly believe that we are at a precipice as Africans, as business people. It's a little bit, it's obviously a little bit scary, and at the same time, it is extremely exciting. And I think the AI is like COVID, a great equalizer, an opportunity for us as Africans to step up and compete not only in our space, but on a worldwide basis. And part of my mission is to try and support and help African businesses, that one um, person soldiered business, actually go on and achieve greatness. So without any further ado, I'd like to just quickly just check in and ask you guys a question. Just type in where exactly you coming from. Where in the continent are you coming from? Type your city. Let me know. So you got people, some people from Cape Town. Okay, a lot of us Cape Town, Joburg. Awesome. Hey, we got some people all around. Some people out in North America, it seems, which is amazing. Awesome, awesome. Welcome, welcome. Zambia. Yeah, so we're a bit scattered, Elmarie. I think that would be interesting for you to know. Um, so thank you very much for that. And as these come in, I honestly, uh, I'm sure you all, as business people, are engaged in social in AI, and we're gonna just dive in deeper, just understanding a bit more of where you are at, but and then generate the rest of the talk according to that. I've got quite a bit to get through, but um, my main question is really just about trying to figure out a few things. So, are you currently using AI in your business? Yes or no? Just tell me yes or no. Who's using AI in their business? Yes or no? The reason why I ask is because, so it's interesting, right? We've got 100 people on this call at this moment in time. Um, and as the people that are saying yes, they're actually coming up on screen. The main thing I want you to really think about this, guys. If we're 100 entrepreneurs in this room, there's 20% of us are using AI. For for the amount of noise out there, the real question you should be asking yourself is, can you really afford to not be in the game? So now I'm going to ask you another question. And that question is, out of the people that are using AI, so the ones that 20% of us that are using AI, tell me something. Are you are you typing it? Is it like integrated into your business, or are you just with the number one for if is it integrated, or number two, are you going to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever Perplexity or whatever the thing is, and that's how it's working. It's more like a I go and I chat and then I come back and copy and paste, or is it a one? It's integrated. There's things happening. I don't have to, it happens for me. I see someone put both. I don't know if that was the option, but I think I understand. I think you're number one. So a lot of twos, as you can see. So okay, so we've established something, right? We've established something. There's 20% of this room that's actually engaged in AI. Out of the 20%, it is literally I have to go to the machine. So, for the purpose of this conversation, we are not quite there yet. What we are saying here is that, well, the reality of the story is that AI is not coming, it is here. It's not only here, but guys, it's really taken over. Look, I've made it pretty much my world to really figure out how this thing works, just because it is it is pretty much done. And really, it's about trying to figure out how do we as business people use it to make our lives better, because it's only going to become more prevalent. It's only going to become it's getting smarter all the time, and the levels at which that it is at the moment is vastly different to what it was 2 months ago. So it's really, really important that you start applying it in a way that makes a real difference in your business. And we're going to talk about some of these, the thinking process that is behind it first today. And then I'm going to encourage you to start doing some stuff about that yourself. So the question here is that, so there's got to be a different types of thinking. There's tools thinking, and then there's systems thinking. Just type a me if you know what the difference is. Know what the difference is? Okay. So Angela knows what the difference is. Great. Majorette, majorette, few people. Okay, cool. Thank you. Great. So the key thing around systems thinking and versus tool thinking is that you're going to have that on the tool side. It's more like that thing of ChatGPT. So I go to ChatGPT, and that's an interesting thing. Quite a number of people knew what systems thinking are, and I'm hoping those are the ones that that actually said they're using the systems within their business as opposed to going to ChatGPT. But the whole idea is that you plug in. So with the tool thinking, I have this tool. A lot of corporates are actually like this. They have all these different various tools. They're not really plugged together, and they just sort of operate. But the systems thinking is really just making basically it's having AI be an adoption, a layer over and above everything that you do, right? So just for clarity's sake, the the idea is that you want to be able to understand all the different departments of your business and take that and make it you want to take it and you want to make it you want to understand every single aspect of where the business is operated, and then you want to document those processes, and then from that documented processes you will start to see what AI will actually take over. So usually that's what we would do in the automation process. But if you wanna start to when you start bringing in AI, it can actually just determine what of those processes are even necessary at all. So, but first of all, you start with actually having all of that stuff even documented. Now I'm going to ask you another question. How many of you have your processes documented? And this is actually where the problem is. So, like the last slide was saying, you're you can't do this. AI can't actually help most of you because many of us don't have our processes documented. Most of us have it sitting in our minds. Most small businesses have it sitting in their brains, or it's being passed down so for years type of thing, instead of it being a documented process that is in a system and is easy for us to find. The other problem is that what we'll do is we'll have this in various Google documents and spreadsheets and all that stuff. So it's scattered everywhere. And the biggest problem with that is that now we have to go searching for these things. But today, obviously, using AI, and if we have time, I'll actually show you the concept of what I'm going to suggest you should all do is building yourself a brain. And there's going to be a video that I'll show you that'll give you a bit more insight as to how you should be thinking about this. So there is two different ways that and this is why we have the opportunity, right? You can either be that cruise ship or you can be that speedboat. And most corporates, and this is why it's the great equalizer, are the cruise ship. Hard to turn, legacy systems. There's thousands of people that they need to retrain, and for it to turn it takes kilometers, right? But the small businesses like us, we don't have legacy systems. We're trying to look for the fastest way to get to somewhere. And I know I said just now that you should be I know I said just now that you should be documenting your processes. But what I've even started to do within some of the things that we're changing is I would actually just shortcut myself by asking the AI, how should we be doing this instead? And then merging my ideas with what the AI would consider as more efficient. And from there, creating a new process. So I hope that makes sense for you, because we're so stuck in our ways as human beings that we may be missing the whole point. And sometimes the best place to actually disrupt things is to disrupt yourself. So I feel like I want to just go step back a bit. And I want to step back into a space of where this all began. When back in the days when we were cave people, we we had to go and hunt, right? So we'd have a spear and we'd go and hunt for food. During that time, what we needed to do was what changed everything was the ability to leverage. And we learned how to create various pulleys of sorts, right? So we determined, okay, if I actually get a stick and I put it on a rock, and I'll be able to lift something, right? And that was leverage. Now all of a sudden there's a bit of automation going on there. This continued, moved into, as we evolved into the agrarian space, as people that were in the agriculture, what we do is we plant a seed and we do that, by hand, until we started to figure out, oh, we can actually just toil the soil, get the soil going in a specific way. And we start using machines, or as rudimental as they were, to do that. This is another form of automation. We move into the industrial age, where we really took this, this is where the combustion engine comes into place. And the combustion engine starts to really change everything. We start driving. We move from horse and cart to pulley systems that take us. This is now where Ford starts to companies like that start to really take off. Manufacturing really starts to take off. But we as human beings become the people working inside the factories. When this level of automation at every single level, what happened was firstly, the automation came in, and then after the automation came in, we started to use the automation. So now we're at a space where then the internet comes in. Internet was this new layer that brought automation, and it made it everywhere, right? It connected everybody. And now we're at a space where we're using it, where we're taking the internet, we're taking automation, and we're building in intelligence into it. So now it becomes this whole new level of using it. So it's not just about, oh, um, I need a system to sort of help me figure out how much milk is in the fridge. It's that the system itself is smart enough to know, because of your level of consumption, when it should be ordering and places it for you. So it's just that level of thinking that you need to get around and understand that this is where we are. We are there. I feel like we're almost past it. So it's really important that you understand these concepts and start to just apply this in your mind. So we leapfrogged, the desktop to mobile, right? And really we went from the traditional money, traditional banking, crypto, and even that is the next level of it, to mobile money, especially in Africa. And especially in sort of Central and Northern Africa, we don't use mobile money as much in South Africa as the others do. But now the level is just completely shifted. So just quickly, A, B, let me know, is in your business, what's the bottleneck? Is it leads or is it time? A or B? So, excuse me for laughing, Angela. But you say both. I don't know if you also said both to the other question as well. Um, Okay, there's a few boths, if I'm not mistaken. Menzi also says both. But if both is your issue, then we need a real overhaul. Okay, so you can see mostly everybody's leads. Um, so I would pick. So the reason why I asked this is because you should pick. This will depend on what you automate, right? If you need to get the leads in, build a system, and you can quite easily do it. For those of you, just let me know who uses Claude here. Just say me if you use Claude. Just let me know if you use Claude. Me, and ChatGPT. I just don't use. I'm not such a fundi on ChatGPT, but I do play a lot on Claude. So if you're on Claude and especially on the paid tier, I would suggest. There's some really cool stuff. So if we do connect, especially I'll share with you guys an opportunity to join me at a free course, and we can really dive in a little bit deeper. But there's a whole way that you can go and use Claude that I'm actually using it in Mozambique to drive leads and to source those leads, as well as here we where you'd actually get it to go and look on Google. You get it to look on various scrapers, go on and get it to look on social media to actually pull those leads, enrich those leads, and then send emails, cold emails to those leads as well. So it's pretty cool. So I totally agree, Eric. Claude is great. So it's just, I mean, like the problem is they move so fast and there's just so much to focus on. I had to sort of pick a lane, and that was just the easiest one because especially because it moved so fast. Other than OpenClaw, for those of you that know what I'm talking about. So thank you very much for that. I just lost my where I was. So now that we know, like if leads are your bottleneck, or if the problem is that you don't have enough time, then the timing factor is, okay, where in your business are you wasting so much time? And then you go in and you automate that. You bring in that layer there. And then that allows you to just save that amount of time out of it. But prior to, we'd be going to sort of hire somebody that would do that. Now you can actually just build something that would do that, and it will probably do it better and cheaper than what you would have expected. So here's a bit of a framework, right? So the idea is, where the revenue would come in is bring in AI to just sort of do the lead generation and the communication, like I was suggesting to you earlier. So then what will happen is, if you're using your email in a proper way, and we're not talking about emailing thousands of people, it's really just enrich people. So we're talking about maybe what, five to seven emails in a day. It's not really a lot. It's not spamming. It's actually contextual. The AI is very entrenched in the information that you have, the content you have to share, as well as the as well as the actual customer and what their problems are. And if with a well-written email that probably won't get attention, over time will, and just think about it like this: if you're sending seven so emails per day over a week, that's, you're sitting well over 35 emails, and then you're responding to those people, and then it builds slowly over time, and before you know it, I mean, if you've emailed maybe 300 people and 10% of those people actually start having a communication with you, and that is like, it's literally free. So, and maybe like 2 minutes of your time. From the productivity side, and this is obviously talking about time, is that if you had to think about it like this, you just take a portion of your day out, and like, for example, already we're doing it for some of the copywriting, some of the proposals. My proposals go out in one day. I'm not even a few hours and it's done. I don't, even though in some cases with my proposals, because Claude already has all my stuff, I just basically say, I just give it the email that the customer requested. And from there, it spits it out, and I edit it a bit, and Bob's your uncle. So what used to take me almost a day to actually do is in a matter of hours. So you got to be using the stuff pretty well. I mean, it notices, it's reading my email box. So it picks up when somebody has requested a proposal and then suggests it to me, right? So, and the cost of this is really nominal compared to having to hire somebody that won't necessarily do it the way that you want to. So you want to just try and think of this like closed loops versus open loops. And if you on one end, an open loop is that you would need to always be involved in it, right? And the problem with that, like I was saying earlier, your content is all splattered everywhere. You have to go in searching, you go in searching for stuff, right? You have to go, you have to be reminded to check the dashboard for those of you that have that. But you got to start building a closed loop within your system. Basically, a closed loop is that the system is able to make itself better. So in other words, email comes in, email comes in, Claude reads the email, suggests a potential answer. I say, no, this is how you need to think about this. It then drafts that email, prepares the document, comes back to me, tells me the document is ready. I'm like approved. Next time it itself starts to realize it can actually do it better. So every single time it actually, we program it through Claude Code, that when it does that, it actually takes that data and it puts it aside. so that it knows how to do it better. This is a closed loop. It takes a little bit of time and a little bit of thinking, but this is really important that you all start applying this way of thinking. If you have staff, get them to start thinking in this way instead of you always having to close the loop, which is what we have, which is a problem that we have with with a lot of stuff. I'll definitely say in the past that was me as well. So just for interest sake, this is a real story, right? So I'm working with I've got a number of my staff, and what we do is we try and we were in different areas. So some are in design, others in development, others are in like sort of copy, and so now it's like, okay, how does this all work? And then what would end up happening is that copy wouldn't know what design is doing, design wouldn't know what development is doing. Everybody would kind of be in their silos, and the only person that brings them together is me. That was a big problem because if there was, and it was weird because there's a dependency, right? So one needs the other, but the dots weren't connecting for the team. When we decided now to firstly consolidate the tools, we all on the same tools, basically, and then everyone started to realize how interdependent all the spaces are. And and myself being a bottleneck because I'm not always in the office, I'm not always available to be spoken to, then how do projects move along? So I start just saying, I'm gonna move myself out of the way. And I've got my open claw, which literally pays attention to everything. And as things happen, things move. And then the dependency gets notified, or that dependency gets at least on hold because it knows that something else has to happen before it. So it's really, really important that you start to take whatever is blocking you from continuing. So I hope that made sense, and I hope that many other people can sort of apply this, right? So another example is, so there's a sales call so now you have a sales call. Immediately that sales call is transcribed. I know many of you actually have your otters and stuff that join the meetings, right? And then what happens is the AI needs to analyze those patterns, the objections and everything. That kind of already happens within that system. The thing that most of you probably miss is that the follow-ups of what needs to happen needs to immediately then start happening. So does it integrate into the CRM? Does the CRM itself know what needs to happen next after that, right? And then is it informing the agent that's going into the calls to do those things better? So this way, I mean, the AIs pick up on all the stuff that we're not even paying attention to. So it's really important that that actually occurs, right? So closed loops won't work. You need, unless you actually start to shift the whole entire business, right? Um, so like we were saying, the biggest blocker is not actually AI, or that it's confusing. And I know somebody else mentioned it. I need to try and understand it. This is the problem is us, the way that we run things. It's important that we start just changing this. So I'm gonna play a video for you, and hopefully that's gonna start to bring the idea together. And before we close, hopefully I'll be able to show you an idea of what one can sort of look like. I'm just gonna try and see if I can find this.
The
Okay.
biggest blocker to AI automation of companies is no longer the models, because they've just got so good so quickly. Now, the real blocker is the domain knowledge inside companies. Every business has critical know-how scattered everywhere. Some of it lives in people's heads, some of it's buried in old email threads or Slack accounts or support tickets or even databases. The companies only work because humans vaguely remember where that knowledge is and how to apply it. But AI agents can't operate like that. If we want every company in the world to run on AI automation, we need a new primitive, a company brain. We need something like Gary's G Brain, but for every business in the world. It's a system that pulls knowledge out of these fragmented sources, structures it, keeps it current, and then turns it into an executable skills file for AI agents. This isn't just a company-wide search or like a chatbot over documents. It's a living map of how a company works, how refunds get handled, how pricing exceptions are decided, or how engineers respond to technical incidents. Then AI systems can use those skills files to actually do the work safely and consistently. The company brain becomes the missing layer between raw company data and reliable AI automation. And I think every company in the world is going to need one of these. So if you're building it, you should apply to YC.
Awesome. Cool video, right? Let me know. Just quickly, just to get an idea. Does that make sense? Cool. Thank you, Garth. I just want to. So if this is making sense, my question to you is, you know, are you implement? Where are you on this whole scale? If we, I mean, I just want to actually just give me a sec. Let me just try and get I want to get a notion of where everybody sort of is, right? So if I had to ask, oh, give me a sec. So if I had to ask you all now, just let me know on a scale of 1 to 10, um, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you sort of sitting with this? One being like, I'm nowhere. 10, obviously being like, I'm in the game. I'm like ahead of you guys. I've left you. Billions is here or coming. Yeah, yeah. So interesting, right? I mean, this is where we're all sitting. This is the reality. And honestly, like the question is, how long do you want to stay there? Because you gotta we've got to wrap our minds around this thing and really take our business into a different space. And the reality is the way that we've been doing it is not going to work. We need a change. So thank you for that. Thank you for your honesty. I think it's really, really important. And we can all see we're all in this together. I'm no different from any of you in this group in terms of applying this in a way that can really make me a worldwide player, right? We need to lift each other up and get there. So thank you for that. So the business brain, right? Basically, it's really understanding your identity. What do you stand for? Who are you? All that stuff. And then taking in terms of brand and what that could be. And obviously, culture could also sort of sit in that. Then the next thing is building out processes, working those processes out. Guys, it might seem scarier than it really is, actually it's just about getting the thing that you do every single day, making it right. Do a voice note, right? Just do a voice note of how each system works or how each department should work. Transcribe that thing and then get AI to build out a process document for you. We can do this so much faster today. Once you've got the thing, you start to work out the team in terms of what do those people, whose role is what, right? Your clients, how do you deal with those? Like the gentleman was saying, how do you deal with them? How do you deal with queries? How do we deal with chargebacks, callbacks, all those types of things? We need those processes in our business anyways. We're dealing with them anyways. It's just a matter of getting that down on paper or on computer, wherever. And then it's about working the pricing and then setting the goals accordingly. So once all of that is in play, you then start to see, and using AI, you can say, okay, what can AI just take care of completely? Right? So, and like I was saying, we have a massive advantage as entrepreneurs because we don't have to go through red tape. So here's a bit of a framework that you can use. So from so AI as a sort of a client's proposal, I think I gave you my idea of how it would work. I would literally create it's already got like all my details in terms of the company and our messaging and all that stuff. And it's got all my pricing as well. So then when I throw all, maybe it might not have necessarily the correct sort of references, or it might just be that, in fact, this happened to me yesterday, that it actually completely read incorrectly what the customer wanted because the interpretation wasn't 100% there. So what we actually did was I put it like a notice, it picked up the thing and it suggested to me, but it was like way out because it didn't really understand the customer. Understanding what the customer really wanted after me reading the brief better, I was able to say, like, no, this is actually what you need to do. But I just said, literally, it was maybe a paragraph. It was like this. And from there, it shoots out the proposal. And I maybe did another two tweaks after that and it was ready to send. So you need to have this. You need to have this within your business. It saved me so much time. Um, and I really think that everybody sort of needs that same sort of thing. So, question, just type in what do you need to automate in your business or automate? What do you need to AI-ate? Is it invoicing? Is it reporting? Is it scheduling? Is it data entry? Is it email replies? Let me know. Just tell me what is it that you need? Lead generation. Yeah, that's great. Proposals. What about meeting notes? Data collection, data entry, spreadsheets. I don't know about spreadsheets. Exactly. Proposals and leads. Yep, definitely. I mean, that'll just save you a ton of time, right? Emails. That one's a tricky one, but it's getting there. Depending on how you've actually got the brain operating, it can really do a lot. Um, a whole long list. That's funny. Get the calls. Look, AI calling is also really big. We playing with that as well. Conversion. Conversion's an interesting thing. I think especially in the e-commerce space, it really works well. Especially for the ones that have a good process around dealing with customers, then it can sort of deal with that. I guess emails is another one, and then maybe just communication all around. But I'm not quite sure exactly what you mean by conversion. That could mean a lot of different things. So AI selling for you, I've not quite seen it, even though I've heard of it, but I've not experienced it myself. For doing the marketing, that's also a very interesting one. We'll be also releasing some more content and videos around that. So maybe you can just start to see how you can apply those things. So cool. Thank you very much. And I mean, I hope you guys are also getting more ideas as you're seeing this happen, right? Because um, I'm pretty sure there's even stuff there that you maybe didn't think of. So the I need, sorry. So the next thing you got to just there's almost new roles that will end up happening within your business. There's this, and I'm kind of looking at it like three ways, three different things. There's the individual contributor, there's the direct responsible individual, and then there's like the founder, right? And they each sort of play their own role. One is more ops, and that's like the individual contributor that will sort of be working in the operations, building the things, working on prototypes, and things like that. There's the directly responsible person. So maybe one person that has multiple outcomes in versus the manager sort of a thing. Because even within even within my department. So another way of thinking of this, think of it like this. Within your design, that's in my space. In design, there will be a number of things that happen. There would be conceptualization, there will be um, a mock-up, and then there will be delivery, pretty much. I'm not I didn't make up the process on design, obviously. So there will be like those three steps. Now, you can literally have the brief given to the team. The AI agent goes out and looks for different concepts, compares competitors, brings it back as a solid idea. And then that one individual can now look at those ideas and well come back with actual concepts as well, based on the way that we already work, the ideas that are already sitting on the with the team. Now, all of that can be curated and done 20 minutes max. Out of that, the individual, the designer now has all these options and starts to say, okay, no, let's tweak, let's change, let's move this. With Claude Design, you can do that again in a snap. And conceptual designs can be presented within 2 hours. This is now where one person, the direct responsible, has all this power. And if you are in a job and you're not using this, you are missing out, right? The founder themselves, even though they're a separate role that's more strategic, when they are disseminating the brief, they're able to give it to their tools. Those tools already know the other tools, so the brief itself is well refined. It can be detailed for the space it's going to, and also abstract enough for the founder to give, because the AI understands what's going on, because the AI was in the call in the beginning. So I hope that all makes sense, right? So you can't outsource this. You, ladies and gentlemen, you have to do this. You have to fully understand this. You have to try. The reality is that you can save a ton of money. I'm not saying less. I'm not necessarily saying reduce your headcount. I'm saying empower your people. Empower your people. I mean, a good salary, an average person, sort of good salary, just sitting around 15,000. That's good. That's able to do a lot. Imagine now you add another 5,000 rands worth of AI power and you give it to that person. What is that person worth to you? And what is that worth to the business? This is how we need to think. Because I know the whole world is like, we're centralized around this whole idea of, oh, AI is coming for my job. It is. But the reality is, how can we use this in order to get the maximum out of what we're doing, out of our lives, out of the lives of the people that depend on us? This is really important. So imagine, instead of having to increase, they say like you don't have to divide the pie, just make a bigger one. And this is what I'm suggesting for you to think about. So the old rules, we just needed to come up with ideas, graft really hard, put work, murk the midnight oil all on doing the manual stuff. That was the old rules. The new rules is that we can build prototypes like this. I'm going to share with you actually a vibe coded app that I created. And I realized I just spent way too much time building it. And the only reason why I did that was because my old way is that it needed to be perfect. It needed to be it needed to be perfect, it needed to be right, it needed to have all these things. But the reality is, for it to be useful for anybody, it needed to be out there. So the speed to build these things, I would have never been able to have to do that. I'm going to share with you now. So, but just before that, here's a bit of a four-step process, and we're just rehashing everything that we've kind of already been through. So basically, it's you got to learn. So work with AI daily. Start to see what you can plug in. Use Claude because it's actually a great it's a good, I mean, I know ChatGPT actually does the plugins as well. So if you're on ChatGPT and you're doing the paid version, I would suggest start using it to write an email or two. Um, get it to draft one. See if you can do it every morning. Maybe just suggest which emails are important. Play with this every day. The next thing is to start to wire up, build a brain. And basically that is, so I want to try and see if I can show you quickly. Um, for the ones that know, you probably have this. There's a system called Obsidian. And Obsidian, I've got it on a separate computer where you can really see it. But I'm just loading it up in this meantime. So I have let me see if I can share this with you because I think it's just important that you can just have a look at some of the ideas of what I'm talking about when I say a brain. So so this is one of the on this computer. I've not played with it that much, but it's on another computer where it's much more interrelated information. And basically what happens is on my brain, in this brain, there is multiple strategic documents, and it really doesn't even take up a lot of space. I mean, if you see the other computer, you'll see like it's a net, and they're all interrelated and connected, as you can see, right? So the when you can have a brain like this within your organization, so you have your documents, and then the one document is connected to the other, the interdependence that I was talking about earlier. When they are all working together, you can pull that information like a brain. And that information is available to your staff, that information is available to your AI, and it's available to you in a moment's notice. It will build the correlations that you require. It will maybe help you create new products. It will help you to completely shift the way the business is run and where it needs to go, right? So I hope that that helps some of you sort of figure out where your position is. So that and for those of you that don't know, that's Obsidian. It's really worthwhile creating one. It's free actually for you to download the system, start to upload your all your thoughts, and you can have one for your personal life. You can have one for your business, your departments within your business. You can do it sort of everywhere. So, okay. So going back to what we were talking about. So you want to wire up all that information. You want to then see what you can automate, and through that automation, you're going to scale. Why? Because it's going to save you a ton of time. And when you're saving time, you're saving quite a bit of money, right? So I mean, like this was just going to drive a lot through a lot of we're going to just go back through all of this stuff. But I want to just check with you now. How many of you are going to implement starting now? Just tell me how many. Be honest with me. Be honest with me. Yes or no? Who's going to be implemented? Oh, this is good. This is very good. So a ton of yeses. Eh? Okay, everyone's a yes. That's it. Okay, I want to believe you. So. Thank you very much for that. I do appreciate the responses. So I'm going to suggest to you, because we got 20 minutes left. I want to invite you guys to a free event. It's going to be, and really what we're going to talk about at this free event, it's a 1 day, build a sales funnel in a day. So there's a bit of a backstory here, right? So the backstory is that I used to have this course and we would build the course, we build a sales funnel in 3 days. And for that time, literally about a year ago, it's such a long time ago, that we in those we would do it in 3 days. We'd build out an entire sales funnel. What's all the copy of we'll know where the system should be sort of set up. Now it's in a day. In fact, it actually can be done in half a day. All right. So where you can at least have the whole thing planned, set up, you're ready to go within a day. And I want to invite you to that. There is going to be, it's free. I'm going to share the link there, and I will drop it in the chat as well. Um, I don't have the link here. So you have to scan. So the the whole idea is that you will be able to build a bit of that marketing business brain, and at least you can have the all the words that would be in your funnel, whatever that thing is that you want to build out, you're gonna have it done within that day with me. There will be an opportunity because it'll be on the 30th of May. There will be an opportunity for you to actually get an upgrade. And really the idea is that the event is online. It will be, and it's more that I'm inviting VIPs to sort of ask questions directly and so that you can see, because the whole idea is if I get the goal I want, which is quite a number of people being exposed to this and doing it with me, that there are certain people that can ask direct questions that maybe from different industries and are able to really get the most out of it. So for those people, just sign up and then you'll get an email where you can do it. It'll be a nominal fee, especially as we're starting this out. So you be the first to be on. And we can do it. Awesome. Thank you, Tamara. Looking forward to helping you there and looking forward to the assistance, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I don't know if everybody can't see this. There we go. I'm going to put the slide back up. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Look forward to the ones that I'm going to see at that event. Would love to connect. Otherwise, please implement, guys. You don't want to be left behind. You want to get ahead of this and do it as much as possible. Thank you very much for your time.